Hello there. Here we are in the New Testament on day 46, and we begin Mark's Gospel. And Mark says this is the story of Jesus the Messiah. And then he introduces before Jesus John the Baptist, and he quotes from Isaiah, "I'll send my messenger ahead of you who will prepare your way, a voice of one crying, calling in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make straight paths for him." And John the Baptist pointed to Jesus. That was his purpose. John the Baptist was a voice crying in the wilderness. And I believe that that's where often we get our voice. We get our voice in the wilderness places, in the dry places, in the difficult places, because that's the places where God speaks to us. So often we expect to hear great voices in the midst of the cities when everything's going well. But actually, God gives us a message, a voice in the difficult places. Don't despise the wilderness. And otherwise, we're just an echo and not a voice. And who wants to be another echo? We want to be voices pointing to Jesus. And then he talks about Jesus. He talks about what he's going to do when he comes. And then Jesus arrives. And the first thing he does is he's baptized by John. And when he comes out of the water, the voice of the Father cries out, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased." One of the things that's wonderful about this is the Father affirms Jesus before Jesus does anything, before he performs a miracle, before he preaches a sermon. The Father says, "I'm pleased with you." And that's basic for all of us to know. Do you realize that before you do anything, his love does not depend on your performance? Because a father's love never depends on his child's performance. Of course, a father's pleased when the child does well, but that's not the basis of it. The Father says to us, as well as to Jesus, "This is my son, this is my daughter. I love you. I'm pleased with you. My favor rests on you." And that's what causes us to serve. That's what causes us to live. That's what causes us to follow Jesus as we do it from that place. And then Jesus begins to call the disciples. And the only thing I want to say about this is he doesn't go to the places where they're training rabbis to choose the best. He goes by the Sea of Galilee and he chooses ordinary people. And he chooses ordinary people to be with him and to learn from him and also to do his work with him. And that says so much to us. He chooses you and me, ordinary people, people who aren't maybe the best, people who aren't maybe the brightest, people who aren't maybe the most good looking, except of course some of us are. He chooses ordinary people to be with him. That's the first thing, to be with him, and then to do the works that he does. See you soon.